What's the ESPN solution to like Patrick Beverley? And they are blasting erroneous report, singular, that report from Front Office Sports last week, and we hit on this, that ESPN banned Patrick Beverley from appearing on ESPN programming based on what happened in the game, his antics there, and what he said to an ESPN producer in the locker room, refusing to speak to her because she didn't follow his podcast. The statement from ESPN, there was an erroneous report that suggested Patrick Beverley was banned from appearing on ESPN. He isn't banned and never was. That from ESPN. Of course, the discussion with Melinda Adams is the ESPN producer's name that Patrick Beverley called and apologized to after he repeatedly shoved the microphone away from him, her microphone away from him during the post-game media scrum, and said that he wasn't going to speak to her because she didn't subscribe to his podcast, as crazy as that sounds. This is after he lost his mind on the court, throwing a basketball back at a fan, and multiple basketballs that one of them hit a woman in the side of the head. And the report from Front Office Sports, which they are not backing down from, said that, in fact, he was not allowed on camera, was not allowed on shows, and that ESPN walked back its stance on Saturday, but it contradicts a policy set on Friday of which Front Office Sports had direct knowledge. Front Office Sports stands by its reporting that he was banned from future ESPN guest appearances, that Beverley refused to answer post-game questions, and that led to this. I believe Front Office Sports in this. Now, the about face, I'm not sure the reason for it.
I'm not either.
Because it involves an ESPN producer.
I buy Front Office Sports report on this. Now, the one possible scenario is there a chance that Front Office Sports went a little extreme with the wording of it when they said banned, and what really happened was he had just been temporarily taken off any consideration for being scheduled on an ESPN show? Because the first response from Mike McCarthy to, I think, Austin Karp and other sports business reporters were refuting that report. And McCarthy and Marchand were coming back at them saying, we stand behind this reporting. And one of the responses was, show me where he's going to be on First Take or anything else. Go ahead and show me the day he's going to be on there moving forward. Now we get into semantics.
And they did.
ESPN,
they declined comment about Beverley.
Yeah, a source could have said something like, we're not in consideration for bringing him back on the show anytime soon or anything. Front Office Sports says, well, he's banned. And maybe that's extreme wording, but I don't think so. I think they got word through an ESPN policy that he had been banned from coming on air. And then ESPN doesn't like Front Office Sports reporting their dirty laundry or whatever. And they got sensitive about it, and they decided, we're going to go against our own company policy here, or we just want to make them look wrong, so we're going to say it's erroneous that he's been banned from ESPN.
But they reached out to ESPN last week with this report, and they declined comment on Beverley not being allowed on future guest appearances on the network. But then in the same comment, after no commenting, they then added that Melinda Adams is a true professional and that she has our full support. That was the quote in the Front Office report originally in the report. So I don't know. Again, you've got even Stephen A. Smith is saying, I just can't believe he did that. It's inexcusable. It's indefensible.
Yeah,
and he was a guest appearance. He would guest appear on First Take often. So with the reason for not just saying, he's not currently allowed to guest appear on the network, that would make sense to me. Instead of saying, Front Office Sports is wrong.
Well, it's something that's
to your
very
point, like, okay, when's he next on?
Yeah, like Front Office Sports said, too, they backpedaled since that first report, that they boycotted or they banned him, and now they read this report, they don't like it, so they've backpedaled since it. It's easy to do that. If you wanted to make someone look foolish for their report, you could back channel something through a reliable source or however you want to do it and say, this is happening, and then the moment the report comes out, you could reverse course and say that was an erroneous report. He's going to be on.
Right.
But again, okay, then when's he going to be on?
Exactly.
His season's over. When's he going to be on First Take again as a guest? Because I think
whenever Stephen A. Smith
he's not going to be on for a while, is my guess.
Whenever Stephen A. Smith or Pat McAfee want him on.
And this is all just an attempt to make another news organization look foolish for reporting on ESPN as a news organization. Because anyone could do this if they wanted. If there's a report about a media organization and the said media organization doesn't like the other one, which ESPN probably doesn't like front office sports, you could reverse course on something just to put egg in their face on the report.
And this is one
that
where
would be very easy to do.
Either side of the whatever you would say is like, oh, I'm all for no one being banned or whatever, or like this is an incident where either side you would stand on is saying, yeah, what we saw is ridiculous and inexcusable. It would make sense that you would receive some type of punishment if you were going on post the playoff run, whenever that would end, that Beverley's expected to be back on. Chad, it would make sense that he wouldn't be back on for a while based on this.
Yeah. And this isn't a case of Patrick Beverley, saying something that's viewed as controversial.
And he's been doing this throughout the season.
Or politically incorrect, and them saying, okay, we can't have him on anymore because he said this thing that's controversial. This is Patrick Beverley losing his mind during an NBA playoff game, attacking fans with a basketball during the game, and then post-game just being blatantly disrespectful to a longtime ESPN employee.
And
that's totally different than saying something.
Antics that other media members have said he's done before.
Yeah.
In a similar fashion.
Right. This is, if ESPN decided to retaliate at Patrick Beverley and ban him because of company policy or for whatever reason, they're doing it because he very publicly and blatantly disrespected one of their own. So in a public media setting, and now they're going to get him back.
So what this could be is what you brought up, just the one word. Suspended could have been the proper language and not banned.
Yeah.
They just playing off that one word. He was never banned. He is not banned currently and never was, or whatever they said in the statement.
Even if you said there's no current plans to have him on any ESPN platform.
Right.
And we are reporting it's going to be a long time if that ever happens again after this incident. You could have worded it that way if that's in fact what ESPN did, and then you'd be safe. That's my only question.
Maybe this
was banned too strong of a word?
Maybe this is better for ESPN because if they say he's banned, McAfee will have him on the very next day,
or try to,
or Stephen A.
Yeah,
but we tried. I mean, they did with Rodgers.
So let's bring that point up too, because I think that's part of it. Did the front office sports report come out saying he's banned, and either a McAfee or a Stephen A. Smith or someone who swings a big stick at ESPN came in and said, no, we want to have this guy on post this event because this is going to be great for us when we talk to him about it. And then they backpedaled because of that.
Maybe, but I mean, I would think if that were the case, he'd be on one of those programs coming up like almost immediately.
Remember when Aaron Rodgers was banned and then came on 2 days later?
No, the very next day.
Yeah.
McAfee said he wasn't going to come on. And like I said, if you banned Patrick Beverley, McAfee would have him on tomorrow. Just to show, just as another flex. Because he can.
Clay Travis has been banned from CNN. That's not too strong a wording. He has been banned. Now, could that change? Bring him up. Could that change with new leadership or whatever happens with Clay's future? Yeah. I mean, you could reverse a ban. It doesn't have to be permanent. Someone else can come in and say, ban is lifted. Clay Travis can come on CNN now. Same thing goes for Patrick Beverley. In this case, it just happened a day later. You're banned, reports out, erroneous report, you're not banned. A day later, you can come back on Stephen A. Smith's show.